behind the scenes with future country rock blues kings and queens. Discover them first with Palm Mash TV. Palm Mash TV.
Well, hello there. It's Paul Mash TV time again. Thank you so much for joining us. We've got another great interview coming up in just a moment. But don't forget about that subscribe and bell button below you there, and you'll always be notified of any new episodes coming your way. And we hope we hear from you in the comments section, so leave a comment there if you'd like. And in the description here, we're going to have contact info for you, and they'll also be at the closing credits at the end of the show, so I hope you'll stay tuned for that. From West Union, Iowa today, we have Todd Souhrada and another talented artist, and I know you're going to agree with me. And we're going to get to that interview in just a second because it starts right now. Okay, it's interview time, and with us from West Union, Iowa, we have Todd Souhrada, and very awesome artist, obviously. Thanks for joining us, Todd.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, we're glad to have you here. Why don't we start by the obvious question I always ask? Tell us a little bit about how you discovered that you wanted to be an artist. I mean, some people will start when they were a kid wanting to be an artist, maybe come later in life. But anyway, tell us in your own words.
Back till I was a young boy, I just liked music, and my mom was very musically inclined. She participated in church, and she could sing and play the piano. As a matter of fact, she gave me one lesson on the piano for middle C, and she was tragically killed in a car accident 2 days later. And I never really learned how to play the piano because of that situation. But as I got older, I got a guitar from my dad when I was in high school, and I started playing. And I've always loved music, and I didn't have a radio on the tractor I had, so I had to be my own radio. And so I just started singing to all the songs, and over the years, I started writing music, and I can't say that I ever really wanted to actually be an artist. I just love music, and as I got older, I like playing it, and then I started writing my own stuff, and I actually kind of went into it with the idea of maybe selling some songs to like George Jones or different people, just because. But you never really think that you're good enough to be somebody like that. And I don't know. I had a job and a family, and I always had to work and do all those things. And as I've retired from my military job and my state patrol job, and I got a little more free time, I had a chance to record an album of stuff I did in 2017, and now I'm putting it out there and I'm just having a good time with it. So if it goes any place, it goes any place. And to people like listening to what I do, then I enjoy that. So,
Okay. Well, that's a great story. I'm glad that you chose being an artist, and I hope that you have many years ahead of you.
sure.
And well, tell us about your influences. The artists that really encouraged you and influenced you in life.
Wow. Boy, there's probably too long a list. I love music,
Mm-hmm.
and I've always loved country music, and I'm more of the traditional country music, and I'm not here to bash anybody, but um, what's being played today on the modern stations to me is more pop music than country music, and it's not so much my style. Although there's some artists out there like Chris Stapleton, I think has really got a good grab on hard country, and I like that. And but I've like blues, and I like classic country, and I like rock and roll. When I work out in the military, I always like to listen to rock. I've never written a rock and roll song, but um, I know my inspirations. I love Conway Twitty. Charlie Pride was one of my first big ones. Was my mom's favorite artist before she died. And let's see, Porter Wagner, Dolly Parton, Johnny Cash, Elvis for sure. I mean, and Roy Orbison. I mean, just Buddy Holly. I mean, I just love that era of music, and I know it has an effect on me. I don't sit down trying to write a song a certain way or to come up with a certain sound. Every song that I have ever written has been as a result of a emotional situation or something about my life that brought it to me. And much like the song I just released, I'll become overcome with a wave of some sort of emotion over something that's happened or something that's going on in my life. When I write a song, it's just like a rush of information that comes to me in a matter of 10, 15 minutes, and the song is done, and I can hear the music in my head, that goes with the song. The hardest part for me is to write down the lyrics, and trying to write music has made me a better guitar player, because I have to work really hard at trying to match the sound that's in my head with the sound that I want to come out of the guitar. That's my biggest challenge.
Mm.
And kind of taught myself how to play guitar, so everything I do is by ear, and I just kind of wing it and come up with the sound that I can hear in my head when I write the song. And so that's how it works for me.
Mm.
A little
Oh,
backwards, I think. I think it's a little backwards from. I think most artists I listen to, they write the music and then they put lyrics to it. Me, the song is all about the lyrics. It's about the story that you tell. And the hardest part for me is trying to find the music to go along with. I can hear it. I have to find the music to go along with the lyrics to make it. And when I recorded my album, Jennifer Bruce Studios recorded my album, and she said something to me, and it's never left me. And she said, there's something magical about giving birth to a song. And man, that's so true, because you give birth to a song it's never been, and now it is. And really, especially with today's modern equipment and technology, that song, once it's published and it's recorded and out in the air, like you guys are doing for me, I mean, it's out there forever. It never really quits going. It's just out there. Somebody can click on it at any time. And so, to me, it's a lasting legacy of, if 1% of the population like what I do, that's a lot of people. And I would be tickled with that.
well, those are great bands. You mentioned, I mean, especially you mentioned one, Roy Orbison. I remember listening to this stuff when I was younger, and
Oh yeah.
Charlie Pride, Johnny Cash, all those were great ones. Um, well, tell everybody how we, I'm sorry.
George Jones, can't throw
Yeah,
him
yeah,
away.
exactly.
Merle Haggard. I mean, there's just a list. Waylon Jennings, it's never ending, So
Right, exactly. Well, tell everybody how we can find your music now. I'm sure they're on streaming platforms, but maybe you want to tell everybody about an official website or social media and things like that that may want to catch you up on.
well, when I did my recording and I uploaded, I worked through CD Baby, and then I worked through the online recording studio that I did, and it's out on Spotify, it's out on iTunes, it's on CD Baby, YouTube. Did I miss any of them? I don't know if I missed any, but they're all the major platforms. It's out there. And if you look under my last name, Souhrada, Souhrada, space country, that's the name of my album, Souhrada Country. And I mean that when I came up with a name for it, it was like my name. This is like Souhrada Country, so not just the country music, but the country, like me as a person. This is where I come from. This is a part of me, and so that's why I came up with the album name that I did.
Hmm.
And but if you look under Souhrada Country on YouTube, you can see my album. There's 10 songs right now. I'm working on the second album, and I'm hoping to get to record that in the next year or so. And my goal is to, get all. I have enough songs to do probably another album and a half, almost two albums again. So
Okay. All right. Well, do what Todd said. Go to those streaming platforms, YouTube, all the social media sites. I know he would love you. And let's talk about the song, Anna's song, I think it's called.
it is. And one last thing, I should have mentioned this. I have a music Facebook page. It's Souhrada Country, Todd Souhrada. And if you can go there and you can like the page, and whatever I do with any of my music, I post on that page. Any interviews like this, or when I get song plays or chart stuff, it all goes on there, so you can watch and see what songs have been released, what songs are going to be released, and if you like, you can listen to the music and stuff. So I thought I better throw that out there. And about Anna's song, did you want a little background story on that?
Okay. Well, why don't you tell
Okay.
us about, why don't you tell us a story about that Anna song we're getting ready to play? Is there a story behind that? Maybe it's self-explanatory, but tell
Well,
everybody about that.
if you listen to the song, it's pretty self-explanatory. But my wife and I had five daughters. And, this one was the second oldest, and she was 16. And I was on my way on military to be deployed overseas, and I had an opportunity the morning. I was getting ready to leave early in the morning, and she was getting ready to go to work. I'd gotten her a job as a waitress at this little cafe down the road. And anyway, I got to say goodbye to her. I guess I knocked on the door. I didn't say goodbye to her face, which I always regret. But I knocked on the door and told her to be safe, and I jumped in my vehicle and I took off. I was on my way to Korea, and I ended up having to turn around, go back. She got in a traffic accident. at 2 in the afternoon after she got off of work, and her and her best friend were killed in that accident. And so it was a very tough time. And then if anybody's lost a child or even a family member, I think they can identify with this song. Again, rush of emotions. It's what's going through you. I was in a lot of pain, as I know everybody's in a lot of pain when they lose a loved one, especially a child. When you become part of the I Lost a Child, it's probably the most difficult thing.
Hmm.
And so I wrote this song, and I woke up. I went to bed after working a midnight shift on a patrol, and I had 2-3 weeks later, and I was just hurting so bad, and I couldn't sleep. And I woke up. And I don't know, I just opened my eyes after about an hour's sleep, and I looked up at the ceiling fan that was going around above my head. And this song just started coming to me. And like I do, whenever a song comes to me, I grab a piece of paper and a pencil, and I try to scratch it down as quick as I can. And I never have to worry about the beat or the sound. And it's there. It just happens to be there. And the words just flood to me. And well, if I don't write it down right away, and I get out of that emotional window that I'm in, it becomes very difficult for me to finish the song. And there's another song that I haven't released yet, and the next one I do, I can explain that down the road. I won't do it. That song was about everything that happened, that day, and from every day there forward. And I think anybody that has lost a child or a loved one, which every one of us have, and it happens to be about our daughter, but you can superimpose she for he, and it would match any parent that's lost a child. I think it's a touching song. I would like to take credit for writing that song, but I don't believe that I had a total hand in anything that I write by myself. I think I get inspired by something, and I believe that God gives us the ability to be and do what we do. And in this particular case, I don't think I could have wrote the song by myself, and I had a hand in it because it was her life that brought the emotion out. And I think God gives you the talent, and it all just falls together. And my hope with this song, more than anything, is that it can bring some sort of peace and comfort to those that have lost a loved one. As a matter of fact, I got a Facebook message last night from somebody that said, "Hey, my wife's mom passed away. She wants to use your song at the celebration of life, at the funeral. Would that be okay?" And I said, "Absolutely. I mean, that's what it's for." It's sad that people have to go through that sort of situation in life, but we all have to endure that pain. And if it helps anybody walk that walk just a little bit easier by understanding what they're going through, and music has a way of soothing the pain, even though it hurts bad. And that's what I'm hoping that this song would become for people, is something that can help soothe the pain.
Well, it is a great song, and I know you guys are really going to love it out there. And we're going to get to that in a second. But Todd, thank you so much for being on the show today. We want you to come back anytime you want to plug something new. Maybe you'll be back sometime.
Yes, sir. Anytime. I'd be happy to come back. And I thank you so much for the opportunity for you guys to do these things. I mean, you make it possible for people like me to get out there. I appreciate it, man.
Well, I appreciate the kind words, Todd. And now let's go right to the song, and it begins right now.
Lord, we felt the power of you as we stood beside her in that room, held her hands as we said goodbye. Lord, we knew she was standing by your side. So Lord, tell her we miss her, and tell her we are proud, and tell her she will always be in our lives somehow. But most of all, Lord, tell her how much we all loved her. When the days are sad and lonely and the nights feel so long. Lord, give us hope and give us strength and the power to go on. And when we feel that aching in our hearts and we long to see her face, Lord, help us to remember she's standing in your grace. She will be forever by your side for all eternity. These tears that flow from our eyes, they're like raindrops from the sky. They wash away the sadness and help us to survive. She was a daughter and a sister and a friend to all she knew. She filled our lives with laughter, and she filled our hearts with love. Lord, we thank you for our daughter, our sister, and our friend. When we see her picture on the wall, we remember the sound, her voice and her spoken word still echo in our mind. So Lord, help us to remember the blessings of her life and walk beside us every day and remind us she's alive. She will be forever in our hearts and forever on our mind. As time slowly passes by and life still lingers on, we live to see tomorrow, but we remember yesterday. So Lord, tell her we miss her and tell her we are proud. Tell her she will always be in our lives somehow. But most of all, Lord, tell her how much we all love her. Yes, most of all, Lord, tell her how much we all